Welcome to Vona Conquistador de los Muertos. As far as our opening hand goes, yeah, not. I mean, if we had two lands, I'd keep on this. We'll go on mulligan on that. Ooh, yeah, I kind of like this. Let's go. We're gonna keep on this one. Got the whenever you see Ancient Tomb and a cost reducer artifact, or at least some sort of artifact for two, it always makes you feel really good. So we'll definitely keep on this one. Do we have Exquisite Blood? Whenever an opponent gains life. Whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. Excuse me. Yeah, let's go put it on the bottom. If we're playing against Sound the Simic Alarms, not really entirely sure that's going to help us out too much on that one. But yes, welcome to Vona Conquistador control, some good black-white control. Let's go ahead and get our commanders covered. And then actually, let's make the land drop, and then I'll cover both of our commanders here in just a second. So, let's go and get the Ancient Tomb down. And then, let's see what we draw into. Draw into a Plains. Let's go and get the, well, we'll need some mana first. Let's go for Ancient Tomb. Let's go for the Pearl Medallion. That's going to be 1-2. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. We were playing Vona, Butcher of Magan. Vigilance and lifelink, then tap, pay 7 life, destroy target non-land permanent, activate this ability only during your turn. Playing against Vorel, the whole Clade. It's going to be blue and a green, tap, double the number of each kind of counter on target artifact, creature, or land. So definitely sound the Simic Alarms, because I've played against Vorel before, and it gets it can get out of hand pretty quick sometimes whenever they get all those activations going, and kind of depends on what your opponent's build is, but yeah, it can be pretty brutal sometimes. Now, as far as next turn goes, we do have Windswept Heath. We are looking at Cyclonic Rift on Pearl Medallion. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Not the end of the world. In fact, if they're going to go for that, let's go ahead and get down the Windswept Heath. Let's go ahead and go for the, let's go ahead and get down the Sword of Feast and Famine. I think I like this. Let's go ahead and go for the Windswept Heath crack, and then we'll get down the Scrub Land. That way we're not taking too much damage off of this. Let's go 1-2. And then tap out for the Sword of Feast and Famine. It's actually going to be pretty good in this matchup. Protection from black and green, but mainly that green protection is really going to help us. Sorry, I thought something was. It felt like something was crawling on my foot for a second. And I was like, try not to freak out during the commentary, but it was not. It was just my foot brushed against something. But yeah, we'll get down the Sword of Feast and Famine. We'll be able to go for that Pearl Medallion next turn, and then set up a really good Vona, Butcher of Magan. Now, we do have Toxic Deluge in the hand, so if our opponent does get a lot of, typically when you think blue-green, you think a lot of mana dorks, different stuff like that. If they do get a lot of low converted mana cost creatures out there, we do have Toxic Deluge as a little bit of a backup to kind of help us go for a nice control of the board state. All right, let's see what we draw into. Draw into Scoured Barrens. Let's go and do this. Since it's going to come into play tap, let's go and go for the Pearl Medallion. That's going to be 2 off the Pearl Medallion, 1-2 off the Ancient Tomb. We'll go and get that down. If they've got a counterspell, they've got it. It's not the end of the world. We're going to get the Barrens down. We're going to gain that life, kind of negate some of that Ancient Tomb, and then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. We cover both commanders. Free time, we can talk about whatever we want. That's going to be Vona. But yeah, if you haven't seen Vona before, this is pretty much just straightforward black-white control. We do have a lot of at its core, it is black-white control. We have stuff like Vindicate, Utter End, different things to kind of basically take care of non-land permanents. But outside of that, we've got some pretty fun stuff in here. And in fact, we've got Mirror Universes in here. We do have the Axis of Mortality, which allows us to swap life totals, and a few other different spells, as you can see down at the bottom. Opponent's going to go for Crossing Grip. Okay. You can see a few other spells. The art down at the bottom of the screen. That is, I'm pretty sure this Exquisite Bond. I think it is. But anyway, we have a lot of tap-out spells. We have a lot of different ways to kind of generate some good mana. And then we'll be able to go for Vona, Butcher of Magan after that. Now, we did run into Cyclonic Rift on Pearl Medallion pretty quick and Crossing Grip. So we'll see what our opponent's rolling out there. This may be a little bit more of a blue-green control style deck with Vorel at the helm. I would assume so if they're going to be going for those plays pretty quick. But we'll see what's going to go on. And they will get down that 4, so we'll go and cross that off of our list. All right. Kick it back over there. And then, yeah, I feel like we can go ahead and go for Vona on this one. Let's go to get down the Bloodstained Mire. That way we can crack it on our opponent's turn. Let's go and get that down. Let's go for Vona, Butcher of Magan. It's going to be 1-2, white, and then a black. There we go. Get down Vona, and then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Now, we can start swinging in. Unfortunately, with that pay 7 life, destroy target non-land permanent, our opponent has pretty much all lands over there. So, not really going to be having anything for Vona to point her sword at, but at least we'll find something pretty quick, and they'll be able to go from there. Our opponent is sitting at 3 cards in the hand, and they've used Cultivate Krosan and Cyclonic Rift, one of those cards being an island. So, maybe they've hopefully kind of run out a few answers for what we've got going on. But I'm going to use this time to talk about Brawl. So Brawl's the cool. If you haven't seen Brawl, Brawl is basically standard commander. That's what it is. You can have a legendary creature be your commander for the deck, or you can have a planeswalker be the commander for your deck. And it's a 60, basically building a 59 card deck, and then you have your commander off to the side, or a planeswalker off to the side. And I've been making some deck text for it. In fact, with Vona, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to record today. I'm just going to go for Vastwood Hydra. Enters the battle with 3+1 counters on when it dies. You may distribute any number of creatures you control. Okay, now at least with Vona on this one, we're going to be able to take care of the Vastwood Hydra. I was going to crack the Bloodstained Mire, and then I'll pick up on that Brawl talk in here in just a second, as long as I can remember what I was talking about. Let's go ahead and grab the Godless Shrine, because I always hate it, like when I'm listening to a podcast or something like that, they're like, oh, what am I trying to think of? And then they never go back to it, and I really want to know what they're talking about. So always, if I ever start a story or something like that, try my best to make sure I can finish it. And then they still have that island in the hand, so we'll go. At least that's one of the 2 cards that they do have. Blind Obedience. Let's go and get the Swamp down. Yeah, I think I like going for this. Let's go and go for Blind Obedience. I kind of like leaving Toxic Deluge up on this one. Let's go and go for Blind Obedience. We'll get that down. This is one of the fun things with Vona is that we're going to be able to go ahead and swing in. And then before we let them go to their blockers, there we go, attack our opponent. We're going to go ahead and pay that 7 life to destroy the Hydra. You can do that before they go to blockers. That way they can't declare Vona. They can't declare a blocker on Vona. Sorry, I don't know why it's so hard to say that. Anyway, they can't declare a blocker on Vona, and that allows you to get an extra activation before it swings in, because it does have Vigilance. So, all right, we're going to swing it for 4. It's going to put them down to 24. We're going to gain that life link, so it ends up just being a total loss of 3 life. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. But yeah, so I've been making some deck techs for it. In fact, I have another deck tech going out on Friday on my channel and on MTGO Traders, but it looks like a lot of fun. And I don't know how to describe it. Like, as I'm starting to build these decks, it just really, they feel like, they're not going to have the power level of like a vintage cube or something like that. But they feel like really like kind of fine-tuned cube decks. And one of my favorite Magic formats is playing cube, simply because of the singleton format. But I'm just going to get down Rain Academy Chancellor. Whenever you or a permanent you control becomes target of spell or ability, you may draw a card. If you do, draw an additional card. Okay, if it's enchanted. All right, so now what we can do is we can go for Toxic Deluge for 1. I think I like going for that. Don't really want to let our opponent get any sort of card draw, especially if we're going to go for that activation off Vona. Spell and ability. Yeah, exactly. So if we go for the Vona activation, they'll be able to go for that. Now, that does kind of put us in a weird spot with them getting down Vorel. So we'll see exactly how we want to spread this around out, because if we do end up paying 4 life off the Toxic Deluge, it'll take care of Vona too on this one. Let's see what we draw into, though. Okay. Then we draw into Grim Tutor. Let's do this. Is there Sword of Feast and Famines in the graveyard? Let's go ahead and get the planes down. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 off of that. Grim Tutor for 3. That's still going to give us 4 mana left over to maybe kind of take care of some of our creatures out there. Let's do this. Let's go and go for Grim Tutor. That's going to be black, and it's going to tap out for planes. Yeah, I kind of like going for this. Not going to pay for that extorted ability to make sure we have as much mana as possible. No, now we're going to pay for that Blind Obedience. Let's go and get our deck popped out, and then we'll kind of see exactly what's going to help us get past this one. There we go. All right. What are we going to go for? Let's go and go for Kaya, Ghost Assassin. I think I like that. That's going to be 1, 2... Excuse me, it's going to be a little reduced cost off of that. That's going to be, well, either way, we're still going to have to tap the Ancient Tomb down. That's going to be white and then black. Now, what we're going to be able to do off of this is that we can exile Vorel to make sure that it doesn't have the, they're not going to be able to go for those activated abilities. And then whenever it enters the battlefield, it's always going to enter the battlefield tapped with that Blind Obedience. So let's go and go for the 0 ability on Vorel. We're going to be able to get a card draw for that one, and they'll be able to go for Toxic Deluge the next turn, kind of taking care of the Academic Chancellor. There we go. All right. Excuse me, I may have exile Vorel. There we go. Okay, sorry, it's asking me for a weird thing on that one. Let's go ahead and push in on this one. We're going to swing it with Vona, and actually, I do like going. It's going to give him a little bit extra card draw, but I'm okay with going on this one. We're going to pay 7 life, take care of her. She'll get an additional card draw. We'll be able to destroy that, and that'll have Vorel coming into play tap next turn. There we go. We're still going to be able to get him for 4 and put our life back up to 8 on that one. Okay, put them down to 20. That's 8 total commander damage, and then anything else. Now we're going to go and pass the turn. So that's still going to leave us open with Toxic Deluge if they get another creature down, and then with Vorel coming and play tapped, it'll kind of help us start to swing in with Vona. Now we are at 8 life, so we need to be a little bit careful with the Ancient Tomb, but cheating your life as a resource is definitely going to help you go into hopefully kind of close the game out. But yeah, as far as the brawl format, it looks like it's a lot of fun. And like, I don't play Paper Commander at a local gaming store. Like, I'm recording. I get up early in the mornings. I record for like an hour before work or an hour after work, or sometimes both. And so I just don't really have time to get up. Like my local gaming store, I'm going to give them a shout out. Common Ground Games here in Dallas, pretty cool store. I love that store. Great owner, but I just don't have the time to go up there. A lot of my magic is done through digital, and having the brawl format come out, like it's gotten me wanting to go up to the store and play it, just because, like, I have a modern deck, but it's only one modern deck, and I don't really like playing it, all the time like that. And so to have a format to where, and they're even set up on TCG Player, so what I can do is like turn in an order, and most of these decks have been thrown together in the neighborhood of $15-20. And so I think that's just really cool. I'm really enjoying that. And so, but yeah, I'm really just excited to start brewing for that and see what else we can kind of start going for. All right, opponent's going to get down Thada and Gyre Sage. That will be a 2-3 and then 1-4. They will get the Evolve off of that. That will put the Evolve down to 3-4. Okay, see what we draw into. We're going to get the Tainted Field down, Exsanguinate. All right, let's go and get the Tainted Field down. Let's go and swing in with Vona. That's going to give us a little bit of extra life. As far as Illusioner's Bracers, they're completely tapped out. So what we can do is go for that Toxic Deluge, just clean the board up. Let's go and swing in first, though. I don't think we're going to go. We'll leave up the activation for at least right now. I don't think we need to go for it just yet. It's going to be 12 total commander damage, puts them down to 16. Now, as far as Exsanguinate goes, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not going to be enough on that one. If we go for the -1 and they're going to lose us 2 life and we gain 2 life, we might be able to close it out with Exsanguinate and Kaya activations. I think that'd be pretty good. Yeah, let's go and go for that. All right, let's go and go for Toxic Deluge for 4. It's going to send him back to the graveyard and send Vona back too. Okay, and then we'll go and pay for that Extort trigger too. Now we can start draining our opponent's life totals, and we can start using that Blind Obedience to our advantage. So we're going to go for Blind Obedience, Extort for 4, Extort for 1, and then that reminds me about Extort. Okay, I don't know if I've ever told this story. All right, take care of them. Let's go and go for the activation. Each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. It's going to put us back to 11, put them down to 13. And we'll kind of go from there. Anything else, and we're going to pass the turn. But yeah, long story short, with Brawl, I'm really excited to start building for it. It's going to get me to finally get out of my magic cave and go play some paper magic at my local gaming store. But now, as far as Extort goes, so I was playing at the Return to Ravnica pre-release, and it was like my first pre-release that I went to. And if you're not familiar with the pre-release, what they did was you got to pick your guild. Whatever guild you wanted. Like you had I think that's what I can't remember exactly how it was, but you got like one pack that was tailored towards your guild. And I picked the Orzhov guild. And so I didn't understand the Extort ability. So I thought Extort was, hey, however much mana you got, just dump it into that and they're going to lose life for that. And my opponent they picked the Extort package too. And so I mean, we had these like crazy like life swings. It was just like we'd cast one spell for like 2 and then dump all of our mana, or extort you for 8. We're like, okay. And so we're just like trading these huge like punches back and forth. And then finally I get into the second round and I go to, all right, extort you for 4. And they're like, no, you only get to do it once. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, me and my buddy, kind of messed up on that one. It's going to go for the Kaya activation. Each opponent loses 2 life. We're going to gain 2 life. It's going to put them down to 11. Right now with the Sanguinate, once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go and get down Obnixilis. Opponent has 0 cards in the hand. I really like going for this particular line of play. We can go for the minus ability, and then we can still go and pay for that Extort and really start working towards that Exsanguinate. Now, we do have to watch out for something like a counter spell, but at least at this point right now, we can really start kind of taxing our opponent's life total out like this. All right, there we go. Let's go and get down Obnixilis, and then once we get into about the 6, 8 range, we'll be okay with the Exsanguinate. It's going to go for the -3, destroy target creature. Really want to get that commander tax up to where if they want to tap out for Vorel, they can, but it's really not going to be the best thing that they can do. Anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. But yeah, so for a while there, I thought the Extort ability was some pretty OP magic. I was like, man, this is some good magic right here. Really enjoyed it. But I quickly learned in the second round that that's not how you play with the Extort from the Orzhov guild, and then it didn't seem as cool after that. So at least with how I built my deck. But that's one of those that's what pre-releases are for. So in fact, if you've never been to a pre-release, be sure and go, because you get to have fun stories like that, or somebody will show you how to play properly and tell you, hey, that's not right. And they weren't mean about it. They're just like, that's not how that works. And I was like, oh, Okay. But yeah, as far as Brawl goes, so I'm gonna be, and then also I tweeted at MTG or like Lee Sharp. He's like, I can't remember his exact position. All right, Poto's gonna scoop it up. Probably still gonna go and post this one up because we still have the minus activation from Kaya next turn. That's gonna put them down to 8. Exsanguinate. That's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna be able to at least exsanguinate them for 6. They're gonna lose their life. Put them down to 2. And that's gonna be one more Kaya activation, and then we still have Obnixilis going for the -3 if they get any sort of creature out there. Kind of go for that. Let's see what we're digging a little bit deeper. Oh, the Sanguine Bond. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. So we would have been able to draw into that, and that would have kind of accelerated that clock just a little bit quicker. But long story short, Brawl's going to be coming to Magic Online with the Dominaria release, and so I'll definitely be recording some stuff for Brawl. And you know, it's fun building these decks, and it's fun to have such an optimistic viewpoint on the format without having played it yet. So once I kind of get into the gameplay, I'll, you know, excited to put the gameplay out if it's fun, and if y'all want to watch it, cool. But anyway, that's gonna be it for the video. In fact, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.